Hasta la vista, baby.
Hey everybody, welcome to Movies in the Mancave. Big episodes this week.
Big time.
We have got The Dark Knight Rises reviewed. So, you want to explain the movie real brief? You mostly know it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's the last part of Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. Yeah, I guess I don't know. We'll just discuss it. I guess
It takes place 8 years after The Dark Knight wrapped
sure we
up.
should go into all that, but
Yeah. You gotta talk about
right.
that. Batman has kind of retired.
kind of, sort of.
The streets have been cleaned up of Gotham.
Kinda, sorta.
And Bruce Wayne has got into being a recluse.
A hermit, if you will.
And now, 8 years later, he kind of needs to be drawn back in, but he's an old man, and does he have anything left in the tank?
Yeah. He's
So-
got a little gray spot going on.
Should I begin?
Sure.
I'll begin.
Get the ball rolling.
The movie starts off, and it starts off with that Bane scene, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bane is the bad guy. If you know any about the comics of the show, he wears a mask, and he's really super big and strong.
Yes.
A lot of people have issues with the Bane voice.
The Sean Connery voice.
Yes, that's what I felt. It was just like Sean Connery. It was more farcical. I mean, I understood it fine,
Yeah.
but it wasn't really scary. It was like,
it was
maybe
different.
he's just wondering why you'd shoot a man before you throw him out of a plane.
yeah, exactly. That was very good.
That's my Bane.
But in all fairness, Heath Ledger's Joker was very different too. You know, he had, I mean, it was similar to Jack Nicholson's Joker, but from like the Batman cartoon.
I'm not even relating it to a different Bane. Just
Yeah.
saying it wasn't a scary voice.
Right.
It wasn't a scary voice
different.
for me. Yeah.
It was different.
Anyway, so Batman, there's that opening scene which is phenomenal in
it
the
was
plane.
very cool.
The premise of it's a little loose of why it happened, but the scene itself is super cool.
and it all gets explained too.
And now Batman's coming back, and I really love those stories. Like a lot of old westerns used to do it. Like the guy's washed up and he's out of it, and can he come back and do that? And so that was really fun to see as he was kind of getting back into the swing of things.
Him trying to get all jacked up for the inevitable.
This it has some new characters. It has Catwoman, which I'm gonna come out and say. I stuck my foot in my mouth. I said Anne Hathaway is a terrible choice. I don't like her at all. I didn't even like the fact that Catwoman was going to be in this movie.
Yes, I agree with that.
But afterwards, it totally worked for me. I thought Anne Hathaway was actually really good. They didn't go overboard with the cat stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Not too bad, but
I don't think it
she
was-
had her one-liners like "cat got your tongue."
Yeah, like
you know?
one or two throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
though.
I could have done with. None.
I thought the ears were handled spectacularly.
the ears was cool.
I
I
thought
loved
that.
how they
I
did
thought
that.
when I saw the preview, she was just wearing like a little Halloween costume.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that
yeah,
looks
but
stupid.
yeah,
but in the movie, it makes sense.
yes, it's very cool.
I'm gonna say I was a little disappointed with the movie. I went in obviously with super high expectations.
Yeah, how
Dark
could
Knight
you
is
not?
one of my second favorite movie of all time. His posters on the wall, which is rare in this basement. Not a lot make it up there.
Yeah.
It just, as soon as I walked out of it, and I turned to my wife and said it, she said the exact same thing. Was I have no reason to want to watch this again.
Yeah. I
Like,
can see that.
like The Dark Knight has so many like awesome scenes, especially with the Joker, and even Batman Begins had so many great action scenes. Like that
Yeah.
first time you see him at the docks when he's beating up on those guys, it's like, ooh, I could watch that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
This movie did not have that element for me where I'd want to go back and say, ooh, I gotta see this part again. It was.
There are a couple parts that I would like to watch again, like the Batman, versus Bane fight, because I liked the comic when that came out, and so I've always liked that. The other movie was a Batman Forever. No, yes,
Yeah,
or whichever
Or
one
Batman
had
and Robin.
Batman and Robin had Bane.
one of the two.
That one just sucked. That Bane sucked. But this fight scene with Batman and Bane, I felt was more what people wanted. Like Batman, you could tell that he
Struggle.
was giving it his all.
Right.
And like they did a great job. And there's a scene in there during the fight, and Batman's kind of, I can't remember if he's walking up the stairs or if he got just thrown onto the stairs. But Bane, you see Bane walking up the stairs after him, and he just yells like before he's gonna punch him over. He's like, ah! And that was just like, to me, I felt it. Like I was just like, oh, he's like so wants to win this fight. But I mean, it was a really cool fight scene. Because
that's the one thing that makes it different than The Dark Knight, because Joker even said in that movie, meet you in a fist fight, no. You know, he knew that he'd get the crap beat out of him by Batman because he was no competition. Whereas this one, it's strength versus strength.
Yep. Yeah, and it was just like, you almost felt that Batman knew, you know, he had no chance, you know, so it's like he's just like giving it everything he had for it, and that scene was really cool. And
that fight scene was awesome, and yeah, you said you felt it, which was a good description, because you feel like they fight with a lot of elbows and like stuff like that, and it's just you really seriously. But
that scream for me when he was just like, you know, because you could tell he was giving it his all and it wasn't doing anything. This is awesome. And the scene leading up to that, the semi-Batman Catwoman fight scene throughout the tunnels, that was cool too. So, yeah.
I've kind of forgotten about that part. That part was pretty.
That part was pretty neat.
It's easy to forget about things when the movie's so long. You know, there's little.
It was so long.
Wow.
Some
of the other characters I want to talk about. One of my biggest problems with this movie is the lack of Alfred and Michael Caine. He's in there a little bit at the beginning, and that's really it for the whole movie. And he was so good and so funny in the first two. Now this movie, just based on the content, kind of lacks that humor that the other ones had.
It did.
I think that's part of the problem, because that was some of my favorite parts, especially I remember in Batman Begins when Bruce Wayne finally comes back.
Yep.
And just some of the things he says why he needs this equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so funny, and it was so good. And this completely lacked the humor, and most of that's because Michael Caine was not part of it.
Right, but I think the reason for that is Alfred is at that point in, you know, with his relationship with Bruce where he's just like, you need to stop this, you know? And I think that's kind of why Alfred, you know, it wasn't funny bits, you know?
No, I totally understand. It was going for more emotional.
But
that's not what you want.
That's not what I want. Yeah, but like my wife was saying at the movie is like, you know, bits with Alfred in there, the emotional bits that he was saying, like, she's like, anyone else choke up about that? You know, because it was just like, you felt it with him, like, as he just wanted Bruce to stop, you know, and so the bits he was in were pretty decent. But also, Morgan Freeman wasn't in it too much either.
Yeah, and his was a little bit, again, very much more serious than what he's been in the other movies.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of on the run, underground type deal.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh my gosh. How did we not mention that right away? Spectacular.
Fantastic. Like, the one thing I'll say that bugged me was at the beginning, maybe it was just my ears, but it sounded like he had like a hardcore Brooklyn accent when he first talked to Gordon, and then it immediately disappeared in like the next scene he was in. Like, that's just what I heard.
I didn't pick up on it too much, so it wasn't a problem for me.
But
everything his character did
was awesome.
Was spectacular.
It was awesome.
You see him, like, I picture him more kind of a nerd, tell you the truth. Everything that he's ever done before, starting with Third Rock from the Sun and some of the other movies I've seen him in, he's just kind of like a nerdy guy, but he plays like a sweet cop.
Yeah.
Like, he did a really good job.
Yeah, even like in Inception, it's a serious movie, but I didn't really see him as like that.
That's true.
Role.
He was more the cerebral machine guy behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Except for that one hallway scene, which was fantastic.
Yeah, that was awesome. He's good. So
it made me look forward to everything that he's doing coming out in the future. Looper and even his bike riding movie in New York.
Yep. He'll do awesome things.
I did not like the love interest for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense.
It didn't make sense. I don't care for the actress, which a lot of people love this Marion Cotillard, or however you say her name. She was Mal from Inception.
Yeah.
I don't care for her. I don't know. She seems fake to me. Everything she does seems fake.
Yeah, she reminds me of a different actress that I don't really care for either. I don't know her name, but yeah, I mean, like, not getting into spoilers or anything, but like, you know, it is supposed to make sense. But when you think it really doesn't. When you look back at it all, it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense at all.
I agree.
And yeah, I don't know. It had its moments. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't. I mean, The Dark Knight.
I by no means hate this movie.
No. But The Dark Knight is just, how do you follow that? You know, and so I don't know.
This one's it's a lot less fighting. It's a lot more
Story.
Yeah. It's coming back. It's
Yeah.
all about coming back.
Yeah.
Several times throughout the movie, actually.
But it just had a lot of, and I know it's just a movie and whatever, but it had a lot of very unbelievable parts. Like, I mean, yeah, you can say all of it's unbelievable. It's a superhero movie, but
Right.
you know what I mean.
But they've done a good job of keeping them grounded
Yes.
in the past, and for the most part, it was here.
Yeah.
I gave it like probably 7 or 8 out of 10.
I'd probably agree. Yeah.
So, which is really good. 7 or 8 is a pretty high ranking. It's just when I've got Dark Knight, it like probably is a 10 out of 10.
I think that's the
Batman
problem.
Begins is like a 9. You want that conclusion just to one step more.
Yeah.
That's what we expected. Batman Begins was so good, and then he went one step more with Dark Knight, just making that much better.
Yeah,
Just
if you
need to
would-
keep
if you went
ramping it
from-
up, and I don't feel that happened.
If you went Batman Begins to Dark Knight Rises, like if Dark Knight never happened, it would be a really
Amazing
really
movie.
good.
Yeah.
So
We should all just feel blessed that Christopher Nolan's making movies.
Yes.
Because if you look, he hasn't done a lot compared to other directors.
Yeah.
But if you look at his list, magnificent.
Yeah.
Everything straight down the line, fantastic.
yeah.
It- So yeah,
Thanks for that anyway.
yeah, appreciate that, Mr. Nolan, sir. What else do you want to say about Dark Knight Rises? This was like the event of the summer, so I feel like we should
I don't
go
know.
in depth.
I
For
got-
me,
I-
Avengers blew this movie out
It
of the
did,
water
it
just
did.
because it was so much more fun.
And I think for that is that Avengers is just the beginning. Like this, you kind of, it's like, okay, well, that's the end, and maybe you're not happy with how it ended. Avengers is just like, whoa, what are they gonna do now? So
Talking about ending, spoiler free here, the 10 minutes, I just want to say there was like a twist that, personally, I didn't think was a twist. It was easy to see coming. And then after that happened, a lot of other stuff didn't make sense.
right,
And I also thought that it went a little too far at the end, kind of handing the audience things. Like there were little clues,
yeah.
and you kind of piece things together, and all of a sudden it's just out there. It's like, oh, well,
You're right. I think what you're mentioning, like the blatant reveal, is kind of like it could have been handled
right,
a little
yeah,
more
there's just
subtly.
like little things that I was putting together in my head. I'm like, oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And then, like, as soon as you figure it out, then, like, they just give it to you anyway. It's like, oh, well,
we can
I felt
discuss.
special for
Yeah, we'll
like-
discuss spoilers after
later.
they're gone.
Later, yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's definitely, obviously, something that you have to go see. From what I hear, the IMAX is spectacular. It's a shame that we don't
Yeah.
have an IMAX theater in town
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be 50
Wait to
minutes
see
of
it.
the most gorgeous footage you've ever seen. And I can tell, like, when you're flying through the city, man,
Yeah.
those are beautiful set pieces that they've got there. It's gorgeous stuff. So,
No. Someday.
yeah, IMAX.
I mean,
All right, that is The Dark Knight Rises. The trilogy is over.
Womp
And I heard it's going to get rebooted now again already.
Yeah.
I've heard possibly Ryan Reynolds, which is...
Ugh.
I don't know
Yeah.
why they would do that if they've
Just-
already made him Green Lantern. Because then if they try to put those
Right, yeah,
universes
make
together,
a Justice League.
it isn't going to make any
Yay.
sense.
Yeah, that'd be dumb. Just leave it alone for like 10 years, please.
Yeah, I'm good on Batman for now.
So, anyway,
All right, let's move on to quote from last week.
I sure hope you looked it up.
I think I got everybody. We got James from J&J on Area Voices, and then Cocoa Buds
Yes.
back on YouTube. I don't know if there's anybody on Facebook.
I don't recall.
I don't Facebook, so
I'm sorry. I wasn't on it
If
today.
it was not there, it's his fault. 'cause
It
I
is,
don't
it's all
Facebook.
me.
He Facebooks. But let's take a look at the
Listen, Sammy. I'm not a very good shot, but the Samaritan here uses really big bullets.
That is Hellboy from director Guillermo del Toro. Del Toro. Really
Yeah.
fun movie.
Yeah, good movie.
We're gonna do a scramble this week.
Sure, why not?
So, take a look at this scrambled up, jumbled up movie image right behind us, and if you can identify what movie that is, give us a holler.
Let us know.
Electronically.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Electronically. It's tricky.
It is.
Movies coming out this week. We've got The Watch, which I think is the only thing coming out.
I think that looks really funny.
Yep, I agree.
I think it looks hilarious.
I think it would be really funny without the alien theme. And not having seen it yet, the aliens could be a very funny part of it.
Yeah.
But the cast is
I don't know.
pretty superb.
Richard Ayoade.
Ayoade.
He's from the IT crowd,
yeah.
and he just kills it on. And from what I can tell in this preview, he's playing the same character. Like it just, I mean, that must just be him. I don't know.
Plus Jonah Hill, Ben Stiller, and Vince Vaughn, who I still freaking love. Even though he's put out some bad movies lately, I still love him.
This one, I think, will redeem it a little bit. This one just looks stupid and fun. Like the scene from the trailer that I can recall is Ben Stiller's messing with this green goop, and Jonah Hill says, "Would you win a Nickelodeon Teen Choice Award?" It's just like, this is stupid. I love it.
Yeah, it looks good. It's much lighter fare as opposed to Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
So if you got your fill of moody, dark, somber, heavy heart stuff, go watch this and have some fun.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
All right, that's all. That's
Sweet
it.
deal.
That's all there is. We'll see you next week, I guess, on the next episode of Movies in the Man Cave.
Jared, how could you not give my movie 10 stars out of 10?
I'm sorry, man. I didn't know.
Unacceptable. Where's my stars? Where are they?